One. Hello and welcome to another edition of Comics and Pop. I'm one of your hosts, Jonathan Rosen, along with Troy Cannon and Carlos Idarraga. And today we're going to talk about the last weekend. They had all the D23 announcements, which entailed new offerings from Disney, Pixar, Lucasfilm, Marvel, and 20th Century. And let's give some of the little highlights there, and then we can go break it down, some of the things that we're excited about, some of the things we're not excited about, and what we're fearful for. So in Disney, they have Hocus Pocus 2 coming out, Peter Pan and Wendy, Mufasa, Snow White, Little Mermaid, Pixar, some of the offerings, Elemental, Win or Lose, which I was excited about, Inside Out 2, a new series of Zootopia. Here we go, Lucasfilm, Willow, Bad Batch, Tales of the Jedi, Indiana Jones 5, which I'm going to spend a lot of time on, Mandalorian 3, 20th Century has the new Avatar, a new Muppet series, High School Musical 4, and let's see, Percy Jackson series, and Marvel. Some of them.
Watched the Percy Jackson.
What?
I never watched the Percy Jackson thing.
That was a good movie. The couple of them, yeah. Well, here, Marvel, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Ironheart, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, Werewolf by Night, Secret Invasion, Armor Wars, Loki Season 2. They talked about Fantastic Four, but that's not till another year after that. Echo, Daredevil, Captain America, Thunderbolts, the Marvels. So there's a lot to process. We're going to try to hit, a little bit of everything. So initial thoughts on seeing some of the lineups, what we're excited about. All right, let's start with Troy this week.
I think it appears to me, using my food analogy, that Marvel said, you know what? We could go out and we could buy something we have not had before. Or we can go into the cabinets, into the refrigerator, take out some food we had last week, rehash it, and change it. So instead of having some bacon beans and a hot dog, we're going to put it together and we're going to call it, beanie weenies. Instead of having a ham sandwich and a cheese sandwich, we're going to put it together and have ham and cheese. It looks like they've taken a lot, the Proud Family, Hocus Pocus. There's like more than half of their stuff is rehashed old stuff. It's either something that they're taking and they're giving it, quote unquote, new life, or they're taking something.
It's like you're reading my notes here and stealing everything before I'm getting to say it.
To see your papers from
yes.
I don't mind it when they take something. What's the guy's name? He just did Nope. Peele, Jordan Peele.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Peele is turning out to be a fair director. I did not think he would be because he's a comedian, but he's turning out to be a fair horror director. With that in mind, somebody said, "Hey, man, what's some of your favorite stuff?" And he told them Akira, the cartoon, which I enjoyed too. I loved it, anime. So he's like, "It's Akira." And they said, "Well, guess what? We would like you to do a live action version of Akira." Somebody throws something like that on your plate. Even if you're a big name, you jump at it. But he said no. And the reason being is because he said, you don't mess with an original. Don't mess with something that's already good. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who is an incredible action hero, I wouldn't say actor, but an incredible action hero, one of my personal favorite action heroes. I've met the dude twice. I'm sure he doesn't remember me, but he got the opportunity
all the time.
He should.
Yeah.
I'm surprised when I see him on TV. He didn't talk about me, but he had the opportunity to meet me twice. Not a lot of people get that. So Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is redoing Big Trouble in Little China.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I dig The Rock, I got mixed feelings about that because it was good the first time. I think, even though he's going to give it his best, he might goof that up. That's how I feel about more than half of the D23 Expo. They're redoing things. I enjoyed Hocus Pocus, but now they're doing a part 2. And they're going to be on skateboards and such. And I'm like, that's not right. They're bringing back the Proud Family. Honestly, I didn't like it that much when it came out the first time. So they're giving it to me again. It's like my mom tried to give me liver. And I was like, no, I don't want any of that. It sucks. And she says, okay, well, that's cool. I'll put it in the refrigerator, let it get all hard and moldy, and then I'll heat it up in the microwave and give it to you tomorrow. And I'm thinking it's going to suck worse. Then that's how I see some of these shows. There is some good stuff, but I'm going to hold my tongue between my teeth and wait to talk about that. There is some good stuff, but when I look at it, it's an overwhelmingly large amount of rehashing. That's how I saw it.
Yeah, before I expand on that, Carlos, your initial thoughts.
It was my idea to do the D23 thing, right?
Yeah, yes, it was. Yes.
So, all right, so it like I like it, like kind of like what the theme that we've been talking about lately. A lot of our shows and stuff have been kind of like a recurring theme, and I guess it's like a harsh reminder of our age. Obviously, none of us like to admit that we're in our 50s, but we're all in our 50s. And it's kind of like, it hurts that a company like Disney, a company for kids, is not making shows for 50-year-olds. You know what I mean? Like, they're supposed to be thinking about us 50-year-old dudes, when they make these shows, right? But I mean, so it's like, when I watch this stuff like that, I always take it with a grain of salt, especially like rehash shows. Like, I didn't even know they were doing Big Trouble in Little China. That's not Disney, is it? No, that's from something.
I just mentioned it because it was the
right. I love Big Trouble in Little China, right? That's one of my favorite movies when I was a kid, right? But that was when I was a kid, freaking 40 years ago, right? So there's a lot of younger people who have never been, who have never seen this movie, who probably have never heard of the movie, right? So it's gonna be, it's kind of like for them. So that kind of stuff, I kind of get a little bit. Huh?
So go take out the movie, go rent the movie or whatever, get it on streaming.
Right, but the thing is, it's like remakes, right? Like when we were growing up, they did remakes of older stuff as well, right? And just like when somebody does a cover of an old song and they make it new, and it's like, oh man, this is really cool, because you might have not have heard it when it originally came out in the 1950s or whatever. So that's kind of like what this is like. I get certain things, but at the same time, I understand why they do it, right? In my mind, maybe they're just trying to get a younger audiences to get them involved and get them, into this stuff. I mean, that's pretty much what Star Wars is now, right? Star Wars, the original Star Wars movies came out in the 70s, and all this new stuff is coming out to get newer people involved. But I mean, since I haven't mentioned anything about D23 yet, and this thing is about D23. I'm definitely excited about Indiana Jones, right? I love Indiana Jones, the original Indiana Jones. All those movies are great. So the fact that they're continuing that and doing something new is exciting. Mandalorian, obviously, right? We all love the Mandalorian. Season 3's coming out. Can't wait. The Marvel stuff, I'm really excited about. Secret Invasion is awesome. There's a clip in there where he's, obviously we know. For those of you that don't know what the Secret Invasion is basically the Skrulls have been living among us, and they're trying to take over the Earth, basically, whatever. And there's a cool scene in there when they showed in the trailer where Fury is talking to the War Machine, to Don Cheadle, to War Machine, and I guess he's like running for office or something, and all his detail are all Skrulls supposedly, right? So that's kind of cool because it kind of also brings us into that the Armor Wars are coming as well, which is, I'm an Iron Man guy, if you guys didn't know. So Armor Wars are coming. So I'm really excited about that. Bob Layton, one of my favorite artists, in the world, who drew Iron Man, helped create the Armor Wars. So I'm really excited about that. Really excited about Werewolf by Night. Love Werewolf by Night, love the Marvel monsters and the fact that they're bringing it in, and we saw the actual Man Thing in it. That's freaking amazing. I was a big Man Thing fan when I was a kid, big Werewolf by Night, and it looks kind of cool. It looks like they're making in black and white, like 1950s style. I just hope that they don't make it campy and try not to go with the whole comedic side that they've been going with everything and make it more.
I think it's going to be campy from the trailer. I think it's going to be campy from the trailer. It looks
right, exactly. But that's the only thing that I don't like is that they're making everything a comedy, and that's that's where I like to draw the line a little bit. I love comedy, but everything doesn't have to be funny, right? Especially with, when you're introducing, monsters and stuff like that. So, but yeah, those are my initial thoughts, I guess.
Well, when we first started this, we were talking about like, oh, we're going to give Marvel the benefit of the doubt with a lot of things. We're going to give Disney the benefit of the doubt with a lot of things. I don't do that anymore because I think their track record over the last year has been horrendous. I'm with the same way with Troy now. I'm not excited about a lot of the remakes, and probably with different. I think again, try give me something original, but also they're ruining. All the remakes are not up to par with the originals, and that's one of the things too. And then it's a shame to me because kids are going to go wind up seeing this, and this is the experience that they're going to have of the story, and they're not going to get the better original. None of these things that they've been making lately have been as good. I don't know if you guys saw the Pinocchio one on Disney Plus now. They just redid it, and it was okay. I mean, it's been getting killed online. It's been savage. The reviews have been horrendous. I didn't think it was as bad as all the reviewers, but it was not as good as the animated movie. So I'm not willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. Hocus Pocus 2, I think, is going to be horrendous. Peter Pan and Wendy, we'll see. I don't know. Indiana Jones. I'll talk about Indiana Jones then quick, because there is no doubt in my mind how the ending is going to be. We'll mark it here. We'll record it here right now. We can go back to this later. The end of this movie, Indiana Jones is going to die, and a young girl is going to take the mantle, because that's what Disney is right now. It's all about agenda over storytelling, and that's what it's going to be. I have zero doubt. I am so not looking forward to this movie. I love the Indiana Jones franchise, and I'm not excited about this movie. So to me, it's when you're pushing a narrative over storytelling, it's going to suffer for it. As far as the Marvel things, yeah, I'm excited about Werewolf by Night. I'm looking forward to Ant-Man and the Wasp and Loki season 2. Fantastic Four is still a couple of years away, so I'm not sure why it was included now in the D23. I know it's just the announcement. But again, I'm not overly excited for anything. It's just, I'm hoping it'll be good. I don't anticipate it being good, but we'll see. One of the things that I am looking forward to the most is Win or Lose from Pixar. It's about a whole team during a softball season. Every episode is going to be a different characters being focused on, which I have a book like that too that I was doing also about baseball thing. So anyway, that's my initial thoughts with it. I'm not as excited as probably I should be, just because I feel like Marvel and Disney have really dropped the ball the past year or so. Let's talk about specifics now. So we'll go back to Troy. You wanted to mention some of your specifics. Let's hear your thoughts.
Well, I'll go through them really quick because I have a tendency to lag. Werewolf by Night. I'll start off with Werewolf by Night. I'm kind of excited for that. I think it's going to be a one-shot though, for like an hour, and then it's going to be done.
And it's a movie, not a series. I think.
Yeah, it's going to be a mini movie, and I'm thinking it hasn't happened yet, but I already want more. And they got a lot of stuff in there. I mean, I saw the TVA attacking the Werewolf by Night. I saw the man thing. We all know everything that knows fear burns at the man thing's touch. And I saw it reach through the bush and grab that dude. And when they showed the full body, he was holding like a flaming thing. So I'm like, well, that dude had fear because he's on fire. So I'm curious about that. Isn't there a dog named Jack Russell?
Yes.
There's a dog called Jack Russell.
Mm-hmm.
That's the character's name. I never put that together until like last week. And I was like, oh, right, yeah, Jack Russell. And then I was like, wait a minute. It's a dog's name. I never put that together until last week. I'm kind of interested in seeing the Secret Invasion. Mm-hmm. Secret Invasion, I don't know how many episodes that's going to be, but I think that's going to be good because they paid the extra money to get Samuel L. Jackson in it. And I'm thinking about it like a creator. And I'm thinking they're sitting there and they're like, okay, let's do Secret Invasion. I'm ready for it. Are we going to have who? Who are we going to have? Are we going to have Carol Danvers? And they're like, nah, let's go full on Nick Fury. And then they're like, for all those episodes, I don't know if we can afford them. And somebody at that table had to say, but it's important. We got to spend the money because of this story. So I'm thinking they stuck that guy in there. I mean, Nick Fury is going to be in there, and Rhodey is going to be in at least, it looks like at least a full episode, if not a couple of episodes, because they showed him a few times, and I'm like, wow, they really threw some money at this. It must be a good story, because if they're throwing money at the story, then they're throwing money at the writers. And if they're throwing money at the writers, then they got a good story. I'm thinking it's got to be a good story. But, like Carlos said, it's an older story that I remember when I was a kid, and when Nick Fury is coming out of the spaceship, I'm assuming, it reminded me of when the heroes escaped and they were coming out, and I think it was Central Park, and they were all walking out, and then the Skrulls and the heroes meet up and they fight. It looked like that kind of a thing. So I'm really interested in what they're going to do. I'm really interested in who's going to be a Skrull. It's going to have to be some big names. I really thought it was going to be Samuel Jackson, but now I don't think so, because he's the crust of the entire pie now. He's the big guy in the show.
At least they've gone back to being, hopefully, Skrulls being bad again. At least that. So
I think what they're doing is they're making factions. This is my thought, that the ones that we met, because there was only a small group of them, that was a faction of what the Skrulls would consider bad or evil, because they were doing something opposing the entire population of their planet. I mean, if your entire planet was evil and then you guys were good, the 30 of you were good, your planet's going to be like, hey, there's something wrong with them. I think those guys, that's the reason that they were outcast and they were floating around in space. Not too sure if the Kree had a whole lot to do with that. And I think the Kree, who are hit and miss evil, I think that their hunting down of the Skrulls may have been validated. So we're going to find out that the Skrulls have invaded, the Kree world, and they've invaded Earth. And maybe we'll get the Shire also. That would be kind of cool, because that would be a good introduction to like the X-Men. Which I don't know how they're going to do that and introduce the Imperial Guard without saying we stole this idea from Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes, because that's what that's what they are. They're the Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes, which was a comic book I really liked as a kid. But I think those two things are my biggest can't wait to seize. I can't wait to seize what's going on with those. So that's really Kang. Kang. I want to see Kang. He's going to show up somewhere along here. He's going to show up because he's floating around through time, man, and he's doing stuff. He's moving stuff around to get things. They're preparing for the whole Kang War, so that's going to be like the next big epic thing. So he's got to, be around in certain places. Him and Doom, who are, probably related. So him and Doom's going to be moving things around. He's going to be moving things around. And I think Doom is going to be, I know he wasn't talked about, but I think Doom is going to be a more of an anti-hero than a villain, because I think he's going to be the one to save the day from Kang, who I believe is going to be the big bad through most of this stuff.
yeah, we were talking. First of all, I was wondering why it was taking so long for you to get to Kang. I mean, that's your boy. You've been left loving him forever. But and this is supposed to be his time now. I just want to say quickly, though, with Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, how much is Brie Larson not liked that she was the original Captain Marvel, and they're kind of pushing her to the side for the Marvel series? I mean, how much is she not liked by fans that they're not even featuring Captain Marvel in this whole thing? But anyway, Carlos, let's get to your what you're really looking forward to the most.
So a couple of things. I think we should change this comics and pop to comics and meh. It should be called comics and mangas because I think
one thing, real quick. This actually has to it relates specifically to Carlos. Okay, last year, I don't know if you guys were aware, Iron Man died, or maybe it was the year before. They killed Iron Man. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Spoiler alert.
They kind of snuck it in there. It was a big thing, really. But with the introduction of the scroll, I've been thinking about this like for 2 weeks. With the introduction of the scrolls, they could say that Tony Stark that died was a scroll trying his best to keep up, appearances. And honest to God, thought that he would be able to survive that snap, killed himself. And when they realize, hey, man, these other guys are scrolls, they find Tony Stark and they can bring back the actor to do it. And we can have Iron Man again. I thought about that. And I was like, we can have Iron Man. And then I thought, I got to tell Carlos.
I think
Iron Man could be
Carlos
coming
wants
back.
the camera off so he could do horrible things to himself right now, thinking about that.
that would be cool. But I mean, I think that if they ever bring him back, it'll be more as a CGI, like a intelligence for Ironheart. You know what I mean? Like he'll be like her just like Iron Man had Jarvis. He'll be Ironheart's Jarvis kind of. So I think that's they'll bring him back like that. But yeah, but I don't think they're gonna. I think that the way. I think that one of the reasons they're introducing the Thunderbolts, I sent you guys something earlier about, Avengers Disassembled, right? Because, I mean, technically the original Avengers are pretty much, Iron Man's dead, Black Widow's dead, Hulk just left to go fight Hulk War, Thor is off in, in another world, whatever, with his daughter now, with the daughter and stuff, right? Hawkman wants to, not Hawkman, Hawkeye wants to retire, right? Captain America, obviously he's old now, so he's gone. We have a new Captain America. So I think kind of like the Avengers are, for this phase, they're going to be kind of like, obviously we know that they're coming back in the future because they already announced movies, but it's going to be obviously a whole new cast. And I think they're going to be, I kind of like the whole Thunderbolts thing. I like, the people that they have in it. It's pretty cool. So I'm excited about the Thunderbolts. I'm also excited. One of the things we didn't mention that we didn't talk about was the Captain America 4 movie looks pretty cool. And they're actually bringing back the leader, which is awesome, right? And in the She-Hulk that we're watching now, when they introduced the Wrecking Crew, it looks like they were going to report back to somebody. We kind of thought that it was the leader. So I wonder if they're going to introduce him to She-Hulk, or maybe we're totally off on that.
Don't get me started on the Wrecking Crew from She-Hulk, but go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure they'll fix the Wrecking Crew. I'm sure that's not going to be the end-all be-all of the Wrecking Crew. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that. And they're introducing that. And they're also introducing, I think, what is it, the first Israeli superhero, Sabra or something like that. She's going to be in Captain America 4.
I'm already anticipating how that's going to go to it. There's going to be a whole political agenda thing with that too. So I'm really leery about that.
Yeah, everything's political. Like I said, that stuff is just, and it was cool that they also announced, what is it, Matt Shackman, who is the director for WandaVision. He's going to be doing a Fantastic Four. So that was a cool announcement because WandaVision was really cool. So we're going to see, what his vision is directing Fantastic Four. That's going to be cool. And yeah, I mean, I think the main thing is the two main movies coming out of that to me that affect like the Marvel universe are going to be obviously the Secret Invasion and the Thunderbolts because it combines a whole bunch of different heroes and storylines and stuff, right? But I mean, they also announced, the new Daredevil series. I'm definitely excited about that because the Netflix series was so good. And, and even though I don't know if they're going to remake it or if it's going to be a continuation. I'm thinking it's going to be a continuation. But, I mean, it's the same actors at least, which is awesome, right? So, we get, the same Daredevil and Kingpin and stuff, who were fantastic. So hopefully it'll be just as good, if not better than the original Netflix series.
I'm hoping for just as good. I can't see better because I'm worried again. Disney Plus.
Well, it's Disney, right? It's Disney,
right.
So I mean, you can't have it as violent and as crazy as the Netflix series was, right? But at the same time, I mean, not everything. I mean, I'm looking forward to a lot of the things that are coming out, like Thunderbolts, what do you call it? Captain America 4, Daredevil. a lot of these things that are coming out, even though it's Disney and we're gonna know that they're gonna, insert their agenda here and there. I'm still excited to see this stuff, right? Like the remakes and all that other stuff. Like you said, we already saw the original, so I feel like comparing it to music, like if you heard some song, the original in the 1970s, and somebody remakes it now, our first was like, oh man, the original was much better, right? Because that's who we are. That's where we're from, right? But at the same time, I'm excited about pretty much all the Marvel stuff that they announced was mad exciting to me, right? So I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt, right? So
we're going to probably go over each one of these things one by one when they do come out.
Of course.
So I am one of the things I am excited about. I'm excited about a new Muppets thing. Anytime the Muppets have anything, I'm watching it. So I'm excited about that. You've not watched the Percy Jackson thing. I love the Percy Jackson movies. So I was looking forward to seeing that as a series. And Daredevil too. I'm really hoping Daredevil. I'm not overly, like I said before, I'm not overly excited about anything. I'm going to we'll watch them. I'm sure we'll watch all of them. We'll discuss them. But I don't have that. I have more fear than excitement right now.
What do you guys think about all the controversy with the Little Mermaid, with the Black Little Mermaid?
It's weird to me. Since she's a mermaid, right? I mean, mermaids aren't real. It's like if she would have had a pocketbook and it's like, oh, mermaids don't have pocketbooks. I'd be like, there's no mermaids, man. And they're like, oh, she's a black mermaid. And I'm like, that's what's getting you? There's no such thing as mermaids.
The mermaid community is in an uproar, just so you know, Troy. I mean, you may not be in the mermaid community, but the mermaid community, I know a lot about it. They're in an uproar right now. I'll tell you that.
It's all over the place. The mermaid, the Hobbit, the House of
what is it? The black elf. Everybody knows all else.
Black elf, yeah.
We were supposed to do an Amazon thing, which we didn't do. I don't care about the race and anything with the Amazon series. I care that it sucks. I know Carlos disagrees, but
I like it so far. I think it's been pretty good so far. I think the thing about it is that when it comes to those we're used to seeing the movies, right? Like the 2-3 hour movies, epics, whatever. The original Lord of the Rings stuff. So this is kind of like since it's going to be a series, it's taking time to build up.
Exactly. I promise you guys, if you stay till the 7th episode, something's going to happen. I promise you.
Bro, I think cool stuff is happening. We kind of know what's happening. Right? We know this is a prequel, so obviously we know what's going to happen, right? So it's
you gotta. I watched the first one. I haven't gone past that yet. I will, and nothing's happened. Nothing's happened.
Oh, you only watched the first episode?
No, the first two. I'm saying I watched.
Oh, you haven't watched the third one yet?
No, I haven't watched the third one yet.
The third one was really good. There you go. So you missed out. You're gonna love it after the third one.
It's the same problem with the She-Hulk series there right now.
I love the She-Hulk. The She-Hulk, the first 2 episodes were horrible, but it's good now. I kind of like it. Once they had Megan Thee Stallion, they twerking with the She-Hulk. That's when they had me. I was like, that's it.
I thought it was awful. But anyway, one of the things
I will say one thing about nationalities: the Thunderbolts. The Thunderbolts is a Russian group led by a Russian leader to protect America. The Countess is Russian. Who else? The Winter Soldier was trained and equipped by Russia. The whole team. Who else is on that team? The Red Guardian. He's a superhero. He's Russia's Captain America. The entire team is Russian, basically, and then they might bring the Abomination, who specifically said in the last She-Hulk, I'm a Russian-born, British raised American soldier. And I'm thinking, that's a lot. But he did say Russian-born, so he's a Russian guy too. Not that I'm over here thinking we should, let's bomb Russia. I don't have any big thing against Russia, really, except these guys are all Russian people over here to protect America. I'm thinking it's got to be a thing. Dude, I think there's two plots. I think one, Val has specifically picked, because there are a lot of villains who survive, but she only got the ones with Russian ties. The quote unquote white widow. She got all these guys with the Russian ties. So one, I think Val's got some kind of scheme going because she's got all of her countrymen. And two, I think this is going to be the start of the siege because Asgard is in, like in the comics, it was in Braxton, but Asgard now is in, I think, Sweden or someplace, and they're like right there. And then, somebody bought Avengers Tower. That was the start of it. What was it? Norman Osborn was making moves. He gets inside of S.H.I.E.L.D. When S.H.I.E.L.D. collapses, S.H.I.E.L.D. has collapsed. Somebody's going to bring them back. Where's Norman Osborn? Now there's a Dark Avengers / Thunderbolts team being assembled. I'm thinking Siege is coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see that. I would like to see that.
That would be cool. I like it when superheroes punch each other in the face.
Even I am excited about Thunderbolts a little. Like I said, but I'm not overly excited about any of them. I do hope that they'll be good. I can't wait to see them. I will watch them. I've been left a little bit wanting on the last few, the series, the Disney plus Marvel series, and even the movies. I think the series have been better than some of the movies, and the movies have not been great either. But
yeah, they definitely dropped the ball on a few of the movies. They could have been better.
National Treasure is another one that's coming out that I'm worried about. The only one
another one I watched. I never watched the National Treasure.
Oh, those were good. The first two movies were good, but I'm concerned with this series. Yeah.
Nicolas Cage is coming back, or somebody else?
I think he's going to come back. But again, here we go. Moving into the transitioning, we're going to have a woman take over the series because that's everything that Disney has right now. It's let's get rid of the guys. The thing we're going to introduce a new woman to take over the leads. And again, we always talk about, also we say we have daughters and everything. Make a new thing. Make a new series. Make a new movie with a woman-led, series or show. She's the hero of her own thing. Instead of trying to every single time take the already the known quantity and change it over. That's one of my biggest things. Like, make something new. And Troy said at the very beginning, make a new entity and have whoever you want be the lead of it instead of, pushing something to change that's already known. That's why the fans complain. That's exactly it, because you're taking what they already know and changing it up. Do something new.
They should have made the Little Mermaid a dude.
That'll be next year.
The Little Mermaid.
The Little Merman. That would have been cool.
That's a good show we could do. We could do a what's your favorite woman lead in a movie? What's your favorite movie with a woman lead? That's unfortunately that might be a little hard to pick.
Do a fried green tomatoes with all dudes.
Now we're talking. I thought first of all, I thought the first Wonder Woman was fantastic. Second one
was great.
So,
I love one. Yeah, Wonder Woman. The first Wonder Woman was really good.
Yeah, second one I thought was.
That's why I'm worried about Aquaman, because the first Aquaman had the audacity to be good. So the second one, according to DC's track record, is going to be a horror show.
Well, it's got Jason Momoa, so who can complain?
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's it. So what do we? So the one series that we want to see the most. Let's pick one from each one. One from each of these things. We have Disney, Lucasfilm, Pixar, Marvel, and 20th Century. Pick one that we're most looking forward to in each one. Troy, let's start with you.
Well, I'm looking forward, I guess, to Secret Invasion. And like you were just saying, it's a series as opposed to a movie. They've been nailing it with their series. They're doing an almost Netflix-esque level of entertainment, minus a few extra comedic moments. They've been doing pretty good with their series as opposed to their shows, which gives me a little bit of hope for Daredevil, because they are bringing in a little bit more adult themed stuff on Disney Network.
Yes,
So I'm hoping Daredevil will be okay. The rest of the stuff, it's all it's all beans and hot dogs for me. I mean, I'll watch a lot of that stuff. I guess Hocus Pocus might be interesting, but a lot of that stuff, I'm just, I tell you what, when I was young, maybe 8, 11, I got into a physical altercation with the bus stops bully. He thought that he should have my chocolate milk, and I disagreed with him wholeheartedly. So we got into a scuffle, and I just closed my eyes and started throwing punches and somehow survived the altercation.
I did
That's how I'm
apologize
going
to
to
you for that, Troy, by the way.
I've forgiven you. My eye is healed and everything. That's how I'm going to see these movies. I'm just going to close my eyes for most of this stuff and just start punching away and hope I survive it. I'm not looking for anything great, unfortunately.
Carlos, give me the one the most. If you want to go from each one, or you just overall.
Well, I'm actually looking forward to The Little Mermaid. To be honest, I want to see it. I kind of want to see The Little Mermaid. The girl she's really pretty, man. She's cute. But I mean, obviously, all the Marvel stuff, and I'm looking forward to Daredevil. Obviously, is probably the one that I'm looking forward to the most. And then a close second is going to be the Werewolf by Night. I want to see how they actually make it good or totally mess it up, right? Thunderbolts, I'm looking forward to. Obviously, Secret Invade. I mean, put all the Marvel stuff. I'm honestly looking forward to all the Marvel stuff, but the one that I'm looking forward to the most is Daredevil, because that's the best. That's the best made for TV superhero series that I've ever seen. There was the Daredevil Netflix series. So I'm hoping that continues. As far as like the other stuff, I don't really watch most of the other stuff to you guys. I mean, Indiana Jones is into. I mean, that was a great thing. So let's see how they do that, if they continue with the great action and.
Did you like number 4?
Huh?
Did you like number 4, Indiana Jones 4?
It was all right. It was okay. It was a fun movie. I mean, the first 2 movies were, fantastic. The first 3 movies were amazing. Yeah. They were amazing. I mean, they were 3 of the best movies ever made. Action, comedy.
Yes.
I mean, they're like folklore, right? They're like a lot of the things that happen in those movies are part of American folklore, right? So those movies are great. So I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to see, what they do with it, right? But I'm not going into it with oh my God, here I don't really that one doesn't really bother me. If they mess up Marvel and stuff, that bothers me, because that's what I'm really into. So if they mess that up, then I'd be really upset. But I mean, like I said, it's Disney. I mean, I know, as a I hate saying my age, as a 52-year-old man, I understand that most of the stuff that Disney puts out, I'm probably not going to be, it's not for me. It's for people, less than half my age. So, I go into it with a grain of salt.
First of all, I do want to say, in 20 years, when I get to be your age, I hope I look as good as you. So you into that. You look good, brother.
I try.
So here we go. I'm just going to pick one from each one. For Disney, one I'm most excited about, I guess, is Peter Pan and Wendy.
Oh, and The Mandalorian.
I think you kind of cheated there, but anyway. But
sorry.
Peter Pan and Wendy from Pixar. I do want to see that softball one, the win or lose. Marvel, I think I'm most excited about Werewolf by Night. Even though I love Daredevil, I agree with you. I think Daredevil is one of the best series ever. I want to see how Werewolf by Night comes out. The 20th century stuff, I want to see the Muppets. And for Lucasfilm stuff, I'll go with, and it's going to be the same answer for what I'm most looking forward to and what I think is going to suck, is the Indiana Jones one. The same thing. If I have 2 all-time favorite movies, it's like Back to the Future is 1A is Indiana Jones. So I'm excited. I really can't wait to see the character get out there. and I just know I'm going to be let down. So if I'm going in, maybe it'll be good because I'm going in there with these expectations that I'm going to give it a 0. Maybe I'll wind up liking it. That's always the best way for me with these Marvel things.
Maybe they'll end it with it'll be like Harrison Ford will be at the end, and like the woman's gonna like they're gonna try to push the woman to take over, and like he, like pushes her to make him a sandwich or something like that at the end of the movie, and he's still.
They already did it. I mean, they always talk about Kathleen Kennedy, who runs now the whole division, that she already killed off Han Solo. She's going to kill off Indiana Jones too. So she's going to take the most iconic character.
Dude's almost 80 years old, so
I'm pretty sure that dude's going to be dead. But what I had heard like years ago, and they may have changed their minds as soon as I heard it. But what I had heard before was they were going to get rid of the older Jones and start telling some of his younger stories. And Chris Pratt was supposed to pick up.
But Harrison Ford didn't want that. I can see Chris Pratt doing that really well. But I think Harrison Ford didn't want that because he's been interviewed saying that, he wants the character to die with him, which is, I think that they should, keep doing like a James Bond type thing, keep going on with a new actor, but whatever. But let us know your thoughts. Let us know what.
Is it his say? Can he do that? Can he be? Does he own the movie or something?
It shouldn't be his say, but they're like.
What's what I'm saying? If he
they're honoring
Lucas
right now.
Lucas owns it.
I would love to see a younger actor do more of this twice, and I think Chris Pratt's perfect in that role. I could see him being that, but we will see. But again, like I said, let us know your thoughts, what you're looking forward to, what you think is going to suck. Agree, disagree. And again, as always, thanks for watching, and please subscribe.
Comics and Meh.